Typically every year, Games Workshop runs a painting challenge called New Year, New Army. This competition challenges painters to paint a new unit or models for a new army about every 2 months. They're also challenged to build and paint a unique display board or some kind of terrain piece for the army. And then it all comes to a head in October when everyone brings the army they've spent the last 9 months working on into the local Warhammer store for judging and prizes. This year, the format changed to the Million Miniature Challenge, for which the submission deadline was May 9th. It's still New Year, New Army, but for this new challenge, participants were tasked with meeting pledges to paint 25, 50, or 100 miniatures before the deadline. Now, this is very different from New Year, New Army challenges of previous years. And granted, I haven't actually participated in one since 2022, but it's always on my mind every year as something that I really want to try to get into and participate in, because it's usually a lot of fun and you get to see a lot of really nicely painted armies from other people. I've submitted a few entries over the years and usually won something each time. I have a silver coin for Best Scenic Board from 2019. So with this new Million Mini Challenge, I wanted to really dedicate myself to getting at least 50 miniatures painted. I figured that wouldn't be too difficult considering my primary game right now is Legions Imperialis. Plus, I could film it all and use it for content for the channel. So I pledged to paint 50 miniatures for the challenge, and I was hopeful that I could possibly paint up to 100. And I might have been able to get closer to 60 or 65, but life happens. We had some unexpected guests, which resulted in me not having anywhere near as much time to paint. I also decided to use this time to tear down my hobby desk and resurface it, since I couldn't really access it. And I figured I might as well just pull it out of that back room. Once our guests arrived, any painting time that I had would then have to be done using a makeshift paint station, which I set up in the dining room. Ultimately, I was able to get just over 50 miniatures done, 2 of which I spent quite a lot of time on. Warlord Sinister Psi Titan. This model actually belongs to a friend, Ed. I had offered to paint it for him since he'd so generously gifted me a large box of terrain sprues and some Forge World Titan weapons. Although I made 2 videos following the progress of the Warlord, I skipped showing what I think is probably the best part, building the custom base. I used plasticard to make it look like cracked city concrete, and then I added some bits from the Civitas Imperialis Ruins kit, along with some medium and fine grit ballast for rubble. I also missed using the footage where I had painted the scorched metal on the Carapace laser blasters. But I think that footage will come in handy later on. I'll probably use it for YouTube shorts or something like that. Sky Hunter Phalanx. One of the things I like about this formation is that the entire contents of the Astartes Fast Attack box can be used to make it. It's a great way to add a whole formation to an existing army, and since it's a standalone formation, you can paint them as a different legion, which of course I did. World Eaters. Another thing to note about this project, the Million Mini Challenge, is that Games Workshop actually considers each miniature to be singular. So even if there are multiple miniatures on the same base, they all count as separate models, which is great when you've challenged yourself to paint 50 of them. In the future, I would like to revisit these models just to add some decals and maybe some other fine detailing, but for the purpose of this challenge, they're done. The War Master, Horus Lupercal. Now, when you're trying to paint a lot of miniatures in a short period of time, it's probably not a great idea to tackle a project of this scale. But I did, and for the most part, it's finished. Now, granted, there are some fine details that still need work, and some bits that were just missed altogether, but overall, I'm very happy with how it turned out. And I know I'll get back to it eventually to finish what I've started. Battle Automata. I just can't get enough tiny little robots in my life. These were a lot of fun to paint and super easy too. I tore through these and got them table ready in one sitting. When I tackled these minis, I hadn't bought my new macro lens yet, so any footage where I'm holding them a little too close to the camera came out blurry. I've since remedied that, so from here on, any of my painting videos will have much clearer close-up footage of whatever model I'm painting. Talarn Reborn. Originally, I hadn't planned on posting this video, but I'd already shot and edited most of it, and I just wasn't happy with it. The footage is mostly blurry, and it's really more of a test model for the rest of my Solar Auxilla. Since we had house guests and I was strapped for time, I decided to go ahead and post it anyway. The end resulting model is really just okay. Surprisingly enough though, the video for this model actually got higher viewership than the previous one with the Battle Automata. Stormhammers. This video I had planned to release prior to the end of the challenge, but it still has yet to even be edited. So if and when I do release it, it'll be formatted differently than what I've been doing with these million mini videos. I'll probably do less of the sped up footage and just more concise step-by-step direction of what and how I'm painting and why. Now, even though I've already started working on it, I probably won't release it until later this year when I need something to post while I'm on vacation. So, something to look forward to. More polished painting videos with the better framework and higher quality footage. Legion Fire Raptors. Again, this video also failed to make the deadline, but the miniature painting was completed on time. Although, admittedly, they're only painted to battle standard and still need a lot of detailing. But since I probably won't use them too often, I don't really see myself going back to them anytime soon. The Million Miniature Challenge. Okay, so let's count out exactly how many miniatures I was able to get done. Psy Titan, 1. Sky Hunter Phalanx, 32. Total is now 33. Horus Lupercal, another 1. So the total now 34. Battle Automata, 16. Plus 34 brings the total up to 50. I could have just stopped there. And maybe I should have. Layman Rust Tank. I mean, it's painted. I made a whole last video about it, so I'm counting it. Another 1, so 51. Stormhammers, 2 more, bringing the total up to 53. And Fire Raptors for another 2 for a grand total of 55 miniatures. I also started painting a couple other miniatures which are still sitting on my shelf, less than half painted. And a Castus Knight for Legions Imperialis, and a Legion Praetor for the Sons of Horus army that I've started building. Now this challenge was a little bit grueling at times, but overall, it was a lot of fun, and it really helped motivate me to get quite a bit of painting done. The next series of videos will be following my progress over the summer as I build some custom terrain for the Legions Imperialis event at LVO this coming October. I'm really looking forward to that, and that's going to be a lot of fun. That's one of the events that I typically try to go to every year. And for the last, since the release of Titanicus, I think I've only missed maybe 1 or 2 years in that time. But every year that I've gone, I've played either Titanicus or, as of this last year, Legions Imperialis. So yeah, that's it for this episode. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.